Reading the title of this discussion might lead someone to believe they would find detailed advice from experts about the nuances of intimate oral affection. However, the focus here is less about technique and more about the deeply personal and often overlooked aspect of sharing such moments with your partner in a way that truly honors their needs and desires. Have you ever wished for something for your birthday or during the holiday season, dropping subtle hints to those close to you about what you hoped to receive? Then, when the day finally arrived, you eagerly unwrapped your gift only to find it wasn't at all what you were expecting or even wanted. The unspoken rule is to react with gratitude regardless, appreciating that someone took the time and thought to give you something at all. This situation isn't uncommon, and yet it cleverly highlights the delicate balance involved in giving and receiving. The giver often expects appreciation, not just for the gesture, but specifically for the gift they chose, regardless of how well it reflects the wishes of the recipient. This unspoken dance can lead to a bit of polite pretense on both sides, each doing their best to maintain warmth and harmony despite the missed connection. Most of us have experienced something like this, and it's an instructive metaphor for intimacy in relationships. Early in life, and especially during the youthful excitement of new romantic encounters, the physical closeness shared is often spontaneous and fueled by passion and curiosity. Back in the days when we were in our early 20s, fresh into dating and exploring our connection, we weren't bound by any religious restrictions or preconceived notions about how to express our affection. It was a time of discovery, when the thrill of the moment made nearly every interaction feel exciting and new. Our passion knew few limits, and discretion sometimes took a back seat to the fire of youthful desire. I recall vividly those early moments of sharing intimate acts, where the joy came not only from being close, but from knowing I was meeting his desires and witnessing his satisfaction firsthand. The exchange was mutual and invigorating. He would return the favor in kind, and it felt as though everything was perfectly in harmony. Yet, as time passed, we began to realize that certain actions which once felt thrilling or natural no longer held the same appeal. Some things became less comfortable or even undesirable. At that crossroads, rather than forcing ourselves or our partner into uncomfortable patterns, we gradually adjusted, setting aside what no longer worked and focusing on what felt good and nurturing for both of us. This evolution wasn't always smooth, but it illuminated a central truth about intimacy. It thrives on honest, open communication. Communication here means more than just speaking about what you want. It requires truly listening to your partner's wishes and boundaries as well. It's about tuning in carefully to their expressions of pleasure, their subtle cues, and their verbal feedback. When you aim to give your partner happiness, satisfaction, and comfort, you foster a connection that runs deeper than the physical alone. There is a profound blessing in giving freely without expectation, a joy in creating moments of joy for the one you love. That intrinsic reward often surpasses anything we might receive in return. The power of this exchange extends beyond simple acts. It's a shared journey where each person's needs and desires are respected and nurtured. It's natural to desire spontaneous moments of affection, to respond intuitively to your partner's signals and cravings. There is a unique thrill in being able to provide pleasure purely for the sake of their happiness, without strings or the anticipation of immediate reciprocation. That kind of giving opens doors to intimacy on a whole new level. Sometimes, the physical environments where these moments occur stray far from the expectation of tidy bedrooms or neat schedules. Passion can ignite anywhere during a quiet getaway, on an adventurous road trip, or even amidst the hustle of a social event where stolen minutes create unforgettable memories. Recognizing this removes unnecessary constraints and invites a freer expression of affection, catered to what truly delights your partner. Of course, this journey is ongoing. Early assumptions that "I already know what works" can limit growth and stifle connection. It's important to stay curious, patient, and attentive. Each person's desires may shift over time, and what thrilled us in the past might need refreshing or reimagining. Listening carefully to each other's evolving needs fosters trust and rejuvenates the relationship. Our experience has taken us from a time of youthful exploration, where eagerness and discovery were the norm, into the realities of a shared life filled with responsibilities, children, homes, careers, and many other commitments that compete for attention and privacy. These layers can sometimes cloud intimacy, but they don't have to diminish it. Instead, they call for greater intentionality and care. Our own path led us from those early days of unbridled exploration into a committed marriage and eventually into faith and community. Along the way, we encountered many voices, friends, mentors, and religious teachings that weighed in on what was considered right or wrong in matters of love and affection. But what we have learned is that not every opinion carries the same truth or is suited to every couple. It's crucial to filter external advice through the lens of your unique relationship and mutual respect. Some in our circle struggled deeply with sexual satisfaction and intimacy, illustrating how vital honest communication and willingness are to maintaining a healthy connection. When one partner feels neglected or misunderstood, it can erode the foundation of trust and affection, potentially opening doors to dissatisfaction and disconnection. Recognizing that marriage is a monogamous partnership with sexual intimacy as a key component helps us appreciate our role in nurturing that sacred bond. Each partner's fulfillment becomes a shared responsibility, one that calls for giving not just what's easiest or preferred individually, but what meets the other's genuine needs. In this spirit of mutual cooperation, we embarked on what we call our intimate revolution, a process marked by transparent communication and fearless honesty about desires, boundaries, and pleasures. It was not always easy to reveal parts of ourselves we had kept hidden, sometimes fearfully, during courtship. But opening these lines of communication brought liberation and a deeper connection that transformed our shared experiences. Even within the context of faith, where certain beliefs shape perspectives on sexuality, we found that honest dialogue and respect for each other's feelings allowed us to navigate these waters with love and grace. This commitment to openness and attentive listening has been the cornerstone of what continues to be a vibrant and fulfilling intimate life for us both. In summary, intimacy, particularly the kind expressed through intimate oral affection, is not merely about technique or routine. It's a dynamic, evolving dance rooted in giving freely, communicating honestly, and responding deeply to your partner's unique and changing needs. Approaching it with this mindset can transform moments of physical closeness into expressions of profound love and connection. There is an undeniable thrill in being able to spontaneously share moments of intimate oral affection exactly as your partner desires, without attaching the expectation of receiving anything in return, though often, such giving is naturally met with reciprocation. This kind of selfless sharing deepens the bond between two people, removing pressure and allowing for pure enjoyment of each other's pleasure. Both of us have experienced times where one of us lies comfortably on our stomach, whether on a mattress, the floor, or a couch, while the other offers affectionate, attentive care. In those moments, the giver is so turned on by the recipient's enjoyment that their own body responds instinctively, grinding and moving against the surface beneath them in sheer excitement and connection. It is a beautiful testament to how deeply intertwined pleasure can become when we prioritize our partner's happiness. One of the greatest missteps couples can make is entering intimacy with the mindset that they already know everything there is to know. Sexuality and pleasure are complex, mysterious, and constantly evolving journeys, and no one is ever truly finished learning. Assuming otherwise leads to stagnation, frustration, and missed opportunities for growth and connection. Even more challenging is the expectation that our partner should be content with the status quo indefinitely. Over time, desires shift, bodies change, and what once worked perfectly may no longer satisfy. Holding rigidly to outdated habits cheats both partners of the rich, evolving experience intimacy can be. Life moves quickly, and many couples find themselves swept along by the currents of building households, raising children, managing jobs, and maintaining obligations. At times, these responsibilities can cloud the privacy and passion that fueled the relationship's early days. It becomes all too easy to settle into routine patterns disconnected from the vibrancy of early connection. Yet, it is precisely during these seasons that intentionality and intimacy becomes most crucial. Recognizing that physical closeness must be nurtured amidst life's clutter allows couples to reclaim the joy and spontaneity that first drew them together. Our own journey mirrors this universal experience. From the exhilaration of early dating and discovery, we transitioned through marriage, parenthood, and the bustle of daily life. Along the way, We embraced faith and community, inviting new voices and perspectives into our understanding of what is right, meaningful, and fulfilling between two people. Yet, among many well-meaning opinions, we discovered that not all advice is applicable or helpful. What works for one couple may not resonate with another, and personal honesty remains the most reliable compass. Throughout our experience, we witnessed friends and acquaintances wrestling with intimacy challenges. Some grew to deeply dislike certain acts of affection, or ceased engaging in physical connection entirely. Others shared feelings of inadequacy, unwantedness, or failure to satisfy their spouses, feeding doubts about the health and future of their relationship. These struggles underscore the importance of mutual effort and understanding, especially within monogamous partnerships where each individual is the sole avenue for the other's physical gratification. Marriage, by its nature, calls each partner to be attentive not only to their own desires, but more importantly, to the needs of the other. This means embracing a spirit of giving that prioritizes your partner's fulfillment over personal preference or comfort. Together, you co-create a shared space where vulnerability, communication, and responsiveness pave the way for satisfying intimacy. Our intimate revolution emerged from this deepened awareness and a commitment to candid communication. We shed assumptions, shared concealed desires, and invited curiosity and patience to guide us. This process revealed pleasures and pathways that might have remained dormant had we clung to fear or embarrassment. It was an ongoing dialogue, sometimes awkward, occasionally surprising, always honest, that helped us rediscover and continually refresh our connection. While courting can often involve holding back out of fear of judgment or rejection, marriage offers the opportunity to grow into fuller authenticity. However, particularly within faith contexts, there can be additional layers of hesitation around expressing or exploring what turns us on. Navigating these challenges with respect and openness strengthens trust and allows intimacy to flourish in wholesome, fulfilling ways. An important lesson we have learned is to never assume you know best, especially regarding when and where intimate moments should occur. Limiting expressions of affection to conventional settings like the bedroom can inadvertently stifle creativity and spontaneity. Intimate oral affection can be enjoyed almost anywhere: a secluded spot on a road trip, a quiet moment during a social gathering, or other unexpected places where privacy and connection align. Embracing this flexibility invites excitement and keeps the relationship dynamic. Ultimately, the dance of giving without expectation involves humility, care, and a willingness to listen deeply to your partner's desires. When each person approaches intimacy as a shared gift, a mutual exchange aimed at delight and satisfaction, it transforms the experience from something mechanical or transactional into a celebration of love and connection. This shift allows couples not only to sustain their passion over time, but to deepen it in ways that continually surprise and fulfill both partners. Entering into marriage is far more than a union of two lives. It is a commitment to a monogamous relationship where intimacy is both sacred and essential. This means that each partner becomes the sole source of physical gratification and emotional connection for the other. When one spouse refuses or hesitates to fulfill the needs of the other, it creates a gap-hole that can foster feelings of rejection, frustration, and loneliness. Such a void can easily become fertile ground for thoughts of infidelity or emotional distancing. Recognizing this reality underscores the importance of mutual willingness to give not what we personally want or prefer, but what our partner truly needs. This exchange is not about obligation, but about cooperation, empathy, and love. Throughout our lives, we have encountered many who struggled silently with these intimate challenges. Friends who dreaded giving affectionate oral care found their marital intimacy dwindling, sometimes ceasing altogether. Likewise, men confided feelings of defeat and inadequacy, sensing that their efforts fell short and their marriages hung by a thread. These stories are common but not inevitable. They highlight the crucial role honest communication plays in maintaining intimacy and connection. The foundation of what we call our intimate revolution was built upon open, fearless dialogues, sharing not only what we desired, but also what we feared, what embarrassed us, and what delighted us. This openness required courage born from trust and mutual respect. One essential aspect that often complicates such communication is the period leading up to marriage. Courting frequently involves a degree of masking or withholding, whether out of fear of judgment or a hope to be accepted as is. People hide elements of their true selves, especially aspects related to their intimate desires and boundaries, hoping these hidden pieces will either never matter or will somehow become acceptable in time. Unfortunately, many couples enter marriage carrying these unspoken secrets and unmet needs, only to realize later that their hopes for awakening full intimacy remain unfulfilled. In Christian marriages, this difficulty can intensify. Sometimes desires may be suppressed or hidden out of concern for what is deemed Christian behavior. Cultural or religious teachings might whisper that certain pleasures are inappropriate, even sinful, causing guilt or shame. However, a loving, committed relationship can honor faith while still embracing the beauty of mutual pleasure and honest expression. Navigating these tensions requires grace, patience, and continued conversation. A pivotal mistake couples often make is assuming they know best, believing that they have all the answers regarding what should or should not happen within their intimate life. This mindset is limiting because it leaves little room for discovery or adaptation. Intimacy is a living practice, requiring attention, curiosity, and a willingness to learn anew with your partner over time. Moreover, intimacy does not need to be confined within the four walls of a bedroom. It can be a spontaneous, joyful expression anywhere you share moments of privacy and connection. Whether on a road trip, at a quiet park, or during a playful break at a social event, these gestures can refresh and deepen the bond you share. This openness to new settings helps break the monotony and keeps the spark alive. Ultimately, the heart of deep intimacy lies in listening, truly hearing and responding to your partner's unique desires without judgment or assumption. It demands humility to admit what you do not know, courage to share vulnerabilities, and compassion to meet your partner wherever they are emotionally and physically. When both people commit to this journey of mutual discovery and giving, their relationship becomes a source of joy and profound fulfillment, far beyond what either might have imagined at the start. Intimate oral affection directed toward a woman is an art form focused primarily on helping her reach moments of peak pleasure through the sensitive use of tongue, lips, and mouth, often enhanced by secondary stimulation with fingers or other aids. One important lesson I had to share with my husband early on was that a woman's experience of climax is often not a straightforward journey. Sometimes she approaches the brink of pleasure only to find it retreating, a sensation that can be frustrating when repeated. This delicate dance between edge and release requires patience and attentiveness. If a woman succumbs to discouragement or a partner grows impatient, the connection can falter. But if both remain engaged and responsive, the eventual climax can be more intense and satisfying than either anticipated. Today, this intentional buildup is commonly known as edging, a process of bringing oneself close to climax, withdrawing briefly, then returning for a more powerful release. Interestingly, this phenomenon is not exclusive to women. Men can experience similar sensations of near climax that hold or prolong their pleasure. One key communication I learned to offer was clear and consistent feedback when I whispered, "That's right, stay there, keep doing it." It was crucial that he resist the urge to improvise or switch techniques, as continuity was what brought the greatest pleasure. I also discovered that vocalizations, moans, whimpers, sighs serve as an essential language of encouragement, boosting a partner's confidence and guiding their touch. Beyond nonverbal cues, straightforward verbal requests such as softer, harder, a little lower, or use your fingers there proved vital in fine-tuning the experience. While most people focus oral attention on the small, sensitive area often called the clitoris, true enjoyment comes from exploring the entirety of a woman's intimate region, including the vulva, inner thighs, and pelvis. Soft, sensual kisses tracing along the inner thighs, for example, are often surprisingly powerful in heightening arousal. Clear, ongoing communication is the foundation of these discoveries. Once a woman experiences an unforgettable climax at the hands of her husband, a desire naturally grows for more such moments. In my personal experience, there were times when I enjoyed 5 or 6 climaxes during an intimate session, though not always all from oral affection alone, nor always in immediate succession. but rather throughout the course of our shared time together. At certain moments, my desire felt insatiable. I found myself gripping his head firmly, moving his mouth against me with my heels pressed into his shoulders, all while moaning, whispering, begging, or speaking in passionate, playful tones. At other times, adopting positions such as riding atop him gave me opportunities to express my pleasure more energetically, with bouncing movements, eyes closed, mouth open, and body alive with sensation. Sometimes I would stimulate my own nipples or gently tease his, adding layers of sensation and connection. When fatigue set in but desire remained, I welcomed his assistance. He might take hold of my hips or derriere, pulling me into him so that my most sensitive spots pressed against him, reigniting the flame and bringing me closer to that long-awaited climax. Exploring each other's desires and boundaries also led us to areas we might have once considered off-limits. For example, although anal intimacy was never something I initially sought out, honest and open communication about desires allowed us to try it carefully and respectfully. As long as cleanliness and consent were assured, these explorations could bring unexpected delight. The sensation of a gentle finger or thumb, well lubricated and patient, added a new dimension to pleasure, engaging muscles and nerves that enhanced the overall experience. This holistic approach to connection, attending not just to the obvious zones but also to the surrounding tissues and areas, deepens intimacy in ways many couples overlook. The key, always, remains talk. Partners need to share openly what feels wonderful, what needs adjusting, and what is off-limits with respect and kindness. There is great power in discovering the unique geography of your partner's body, understanding the precise pressure, rhythm, and focus that bring them the most joy. Every woman's preferences differ, and even on different days, the same touch may evoke different responses. For example, in terms of digital stimulation, I found that a common, comfortable position involved my partner's hand palm up, fingers gently curved and just inside the vaginal opening pressing against the fleshy area inside the pelvis. Combining this internal pressure with external oral attention to the clitoral area resulted in some of my most intense moments of pleasure. As age and experience settle in, many couples find this awareness and openness even more rewarding. Challenges such as health or emotional stress can temporarily interfere with intimacy, but a foundation of mutual love, patience, and communication sustains the connection over the years. For many women, occasions arise where a little extra support or assistance is welcome. Whether by a change of pace, an added gentle touch, or encouragement, both partners benefit from tuning in attentively to the other's evolving needs. These expressions of care often bring couples closer, reaffirming their commitment beyond the physical to the emotional and spiritual realms. In short, the art of affectionate oral connection involves a symphony of individual touches, shared language, and heartfelt responsiveness. It invites both partners to set aside assumptions, embrace vulnerability, and celebrate the unique pleasures they give and receive together. As men age, changes naturally occur in their bodies and responses, and it's important for partners to approach these changes with understanding rather than blame. Sometimes a decrease in sensitivity, a longer time to reach peak pleasure, or a reduction in natural fluids can become part of the experience. These shifts are normal and not a reflection of a lack of desire or attraction. Open communication is essential in navigating this phase of intimacy, allowing husbands and wives to share their feelings without judgment and to explore new ways to connect and enjoy each other. Every man is unique in his preferences and responses, so taking the time to talk honestly about what feels good, what might be different than before, and what still excites him helps build confidence and mutual satisfaction. For example, I discovered that at times my husband enjoys having his nipples gently pinched during moments of affection, adding an additional layer of stimulation and pleasure beyond the central focus. At other times, a comforting touch or a finger applied carefully in more intimate areas becomes a significant part of his enjoyment. There is also a practice known as prostate massage that can greatly enhance a man's pleasure during his peak moments. While I have engaged in this form of affectionate attention with my partner, It is always done with his express comfort and cleanliness in mind. Exploring these areas together deepens trust and opens new pathways of connection. There is something uniquely intimate about gently exploring sensitive regions, feeling the response of the muscles and nerves, and experiencing shared pleasure that is both physical and emotional. As we have matured together, we have noticed that reaching climax typically takes much longer, but the intensity of the experience becomes even greater, a profound exchange that deepens our bond. Because affectionate oral attention can demand long periods of physical engagement and sometimes tire the giver's mouth, lips, and body, finding ways to provide alternate stimulation becomes valuable. Combining oral affection with hand movements, light touches, or even gentle pinching can help manage the physical effort while maintaining or enhancing pleasure. Including a carefully placed finger in more intimate areas not only diversifies stimulation, but often brings about heightened sensations for the recipient. One particularly sensitive area on the male anatomy is located beneath the head of the intimate organ, the frenulum. This spot responds exceptionally well to gentle licking, sucking, or thumb pressure when properly lubricated, often intensifying the pleasure and improving the overall experience. A technique we found effective involves coordinating hand and mouth movements, stroking the shaft while moving the mouth up and down, applying gentle suction rather than just passive holding. Keeping a firm yet gentle grip with the fingers around the base complements the oral motion, creating a rhythm that many find highly satisfying. I have also found that fondling the sac area, the skin, and tissue below the organson add to the sensation without applying undue pressure. Gently massaging or milking this region with lubricants increases comfort and pleasure. The key in this exploration is attentiveness and sensitivity to the partner's responses to avoid discomfort. Another unexpected but powerful component is eye contact. Looking him in the eyes while offering affectionate oral attention creates a deeper emotional connection, reinforcing intimacy beyond the physical act itself. The visual affirmation becomes part of the shared experience, allowing both partners to feel seen, desired, and loved. Throughout the years, we have shared these experiences openly, with my husband offering tips and feedback that have helped me become more confident and skilled in meeting his needs. This collaboration keeps our intimate life vibrant and joyful, demonstrating the importance of ongoing dialogue in sustaining satisfaction. We write about these insights in the hope that other couples will feel encouraged to communicate honestly and explore what gives them both pleasure. Intimacy is not static, but a beautiful, evolving journey that thrives on openness, patience, and mutual delight. Ultimately, the foundation of a fulfilling, intimate relationship lies in the willingness to learn about each other continuously, to share vulnerabilities, and to celebrate the unique ways each partner expresses and receives love.